Now, there's no set way to do this practice. I often encourage people to stay upright because that's the easiest way to stay alert. But if laying down suits you more today, then that's absolutely fine. And the key is to remain comfortable, but allowing ourselves to remain alert enough to stay attentive to the practice. And like any mindfulness practice, we set our intention and then we let go of it, because quite often the experience of our practice is learnt in the left to the right, to the left to the right. There's not a straight line that we go in. So just being open to our experience as it unfolds is a really important thing. This practice usually starts with a poem by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. So I'm going to read that out, and then from there we'll go straight into the practice. So The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So, finding our breath and finding it in our body where we feel it the most strongly. Where do we notice the breath? Maybe it's in the nose or the throat, maybe the chest or the belly. Maybe we can't connect with it, or maybe we can just get a general sense of ourselves breathing. Can we bring our attention a little bit closer to the breath? To the sensations of breathing as they arise? And it's sometimes helpful to deepen the breath slightly. And to build a balanced flow of breathing. This means that we're creating an even length between the in-breath and the out-breath. So a nice rhythm. Maybe counting to 3 or 4 is helpful on the inhale, and then matching that with the exhale. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe a phrase like, I'm breathing in and I know that this is my in-breath. And I'm breathing out and I know that this is my out-breath. So there's 2 things happening now where focusing on the sensation of the breathing body, however that appears to us. And we're building this even, gentle rhythm of breathing. And of course, the mind will interrupt, will carry us away. Our awareness will attach itself to movement of thoughts and thinking. And it does so very cunningly, and we don't realize it's happened until after. So as soon as we recognize that we've come away from the breath, then we just let go of whatever we're thinking about as best we can and return to rest again in this breathing body with this gentle rhythm of breath. And can we let the breath now return to its normal, natural rhythm? And just taking a moment to be curious about this breath. How is it? Is it short? Is it shallow? Is it smooth, deep? Treating each breath like a new thing, as though we've never breathed it in before. We're not comparing. We're not judging. And we're not judging ourselves if the mind wanders, which it will. We just gently return it to this awareness of this natural breath in the body. And we can begin to expand our focus, to widen our focus, to get a sense of our body as it rests here. What's the most obvious sensation right now in the body? Is there one? And can we feel the hands or the belly? Maybe it's the weight of our body on the floor or the chair. Maybe we can feel our feet on the floor, or the contact of our clothing on the skin. There's no wrong way of doing this. We're just allowing our awareness to expand, to bring in the senses of the feelings of the body. Is there a particular pain or discomfort in the body? Can we soften around it? And can we expand our awareness again to include the space around us. So we've got this sense of this breathing body, sense of any kind of feelings of the body in this space, and an awareness of the space around the body as well. Perhaps distraction in our environment. We're not discluding anything from our experience here. So if there's distraction, allowing that to arise and pass in its own time. If there's difficult sensations, allowing them to arise and pass. And if we get really lost into thoughts and thinking, we can always just return to this breath, this natural breath. And whenever we need to, maybe deepening it again. Sometimes if we're particularly stressed or uncomfortable, the mind can jump around a lot. So just using the breath as we need to. We can rest on it or we can deepen it. There's no wrong way. So this is where the rain practice begins. As we rest here on our breath, we're asked to bring to mind a minor difficulty. And this can take any form. It might be a difficult emotion that we're carrying. It might be a difficult sensation. It might be an uncomfortable thought or memory. And if nothing is coming up at all, then holding that space, that blank, if you like, and using that as the focus of our practice. So whatever this difficulty is, can we label it? How do we know what it is? Has it got a name? And can we allow it to be here? This is when we're opening the door. We're recognizing the difficulty. And by allowing it, we're actually inviting it in. We're giving it space to be here. And maybe it's not alone. Maybe there's other difficulties behind it. Maybe there's a collection. So is it possible to allow those into our house as well? Can we let them in? Now this is brave because we might not want to be around these experiences, these difficulties. So we're only expected to do what we can with this, allow as much as we can. In this allowing, this isn't a negotiation. It doesn't have conditions associated with it. This is complete and utter acceptance of this difficulty as it is. This isn't, if I allow you in, will you leave quickly? This is, I'm allowing you to be here. And we can start looking at this difficulty in a new way. We're invited to offer some intimate attention. This is the eye of the rain. And we do so with curiosity. So no expectations and no judgments, like a curious scientist, just examining what is here. And we start by looking or examining this difficulty in how it appears in the body. Is there a sensation associated with it? And what kind of sensation is it? Is it large or small? Solid or airy? Hot or cold? Maybe we don't have words for this particular sensation, but can we connect with just its presence? Does it have a center? Is the center different to the edges? Is it moving? And are there any feelings or emotions associated with this sensation, with this difficulty? Maybe the difficulty is an emotion. Is it in isolation, or are there other emotions or feelings associated with it? And we're asked to meet these with acceptance. Can we meet the sensations with acceptance? Can we meet the feelings with acceptance? Maybe there's layers of feelings. Maybe they're changing. Maybe there's resistance to the feelings. Maybe there's blanks coming up. And can we give these feelings their own space and presence and just allow them to be here in their own way? And we're directing our awareness to any thoughts that we might be having. Thoughts about this difficulty. Sometimes when we're deeply in it, then it's difficult to notice these things. But there may be stories associated with it. What's the narrative, the voice in the head? And is it true? Is it fair? Can we recognize any beliefs underlying this? And can we allow them their own place, like we have with the sensations and the feelings and the thoughts? Becoming curious about this attitude that we might be currently experiencing. What's our current mode? Can we be aware of this? Perhaps noticing how we're feeling about what we're feeling. Is there a layer of judgment or resistance? Maybe another voice, maybe that critical parent voice. And are we giving these thoughts, feelings, sensations, are we attributing a permanence to them? Or are we believing them to be true when perhaps they might not be? So here's where we come to the N of the rain, which is non-identification. This is where we just start to take a couple of steps backwards and seeing if we can make space for this kind of constellation of experiences that we're going through. Can we become more aware that this is something that we're noticing? Does this experience define us? Or is it simply moving through? Is there any space around it? Sometimes we are emotionally connected to this experience, this difficulty, and it's hard to see around it. It's hard to let it go. And sometimes we can just notice that that is what this moment feels like. So whatever I'm experiencing now, whatever this difficulty is, this is what it's like to be feeling and thinking these things. And there's nothing wrong with that. We often feel alone in this experience, but we know that this is shared by so many other people as well. So just taking a moment now as we draw toward the end of the practice, just to let go of any curious or investigative mind that we've been using for this practice. And in whatever way works for us, just opening our awareness to the space around us. Any sounds or distractions. Maybe bringing our awareness back to our seat, our bottoms on the chairs or beds or wherever we are. Allowing ourselves a few moments just to transition from this practice. And just dedicating any peace or insight to maybe to people that have knowingly or unknowingly upset or hurt us. And maybe dedicating some peace to those who we've knowingly or unknowingly upset or hurt. And if it's comfortable to do so, placing a hand on the chest and just taking a moment to recognize where we may have knowingly or unknowingly hurt or upset ourselves. And offering some peace to ourselves. Allowing the sound of the gong just to signal the end of the practice.